everybody. My name is Counselormsvee, Vondolyn Salter Lane, and welcome to the Ask the Counselor Show. I am here today with my special guest, Frank Collins. Hi, Frank. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So I want the studio audience to kind of get to know Mr. Collins. So Frank, kind of tell the people who you are and what your story is.
Sure. Well, as you already said, my name is Frank Collins. I am the owner operator of the Texas Roadhouse in Cheektowaga. Uh, I am a Southerner. I grew up in the great state of Georgia. Grew up on a farm, farming, working with my father, and just working real hard. And my father, without through all that, I learned a lot of valuable lesson about hard work and what it takes to succeed, without really understanding that I was learning what it would take to succeed. So, one of the most easiest thing, or one of the most proudest thing in my life, was the day that my father looked at me and told me that he did not want me to be a farmer. And it was from there that my life truly changed. I uh, took a job um, in a small town called Cordele, Georgia, at a local restaurant, fast food, seafood place called Captain D's. And from there, my life just kind of took off without really realizing that it was kind of taking off.
Wow, that's fabulous. So, from growing up in Georgia to where you are now, that's phenomenal. And the positive words from your father, even though he installed a positive message for you, that must have really impacted you and got the ball rolling,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
So, why don't you tell me about your journey?
Well, like I said, I started out working for a small seafood restaurant,
Hmm.
Captain D's. Then I went from there to McDonald's, where in which I was introduced into management. And once I got into management, and I didn't get into management in Georgia. I got into management when I left Georgia in '86, and I moved to Syracuse, New York. And it was there that I started to hone my skills, and I really developed a passion for the restaurant industry. So it was at that point that I joined another outfit called uh, Carmelo's Cafe, which was my first intro to full service. So, I did that for a while, which I absolutely loved. I thought it was great. I was in love with doing that. In fact, from time to time, when I am in Syracuse, I still would drive by that restaurant just to see it, just brings back so many memories.
Right.
And from there, I went to another company, the Old Country Buffet again, another real good food company, and I got my skills honed there. Then from Olive Garden, I went to Olive Garden. I relocated from Rochester to Buffalo, and well, then the rest is kind of almost history because I got in with Texas Roadhouse out in Arizona, moved to Detroit, and came back to Buffalo. So, you know, the restaurant industry has been good to me, and I
Yeah.
and I do love it.
Yeah. So that's your early part of the career and everything. So give me some key milestones in your life that made you continue on this path. I know you gave us your work history and how you built to where you were, but like you was talking about your mom and your dad and how they impacted you and how it's so important to, you know, listen and to take heed to some of our parents' kind of, what do you call it? Leadership.
Sure, sure, absolutely,
Leadership.
right, right, right. Well, my mom played a very important role in my life. She was really my father taught me work ethic. My mother was the person who taught me kindness and how to respect other people and how to absolutely, work with other people. So I learned a lot from her. In fact, a lot of my values, I watched her in network marketing. That's where a lot of my skills really come from. Because my mom she worked, well, she tried to do network marketing, and
Yeah.
as a kid, I watched her
Yeah.
do that, and and from there, I was just fascinated. I was just fascinated by business,
Yeah.
fascinated by how she was doing things, and uh, you know, and I got into network marketing, and I didn't make a dime, but
Right.
the principles of network marketing are absolutely some of the best principles, and they absolutely work 100% of the time. So I got into that, and I just continued to hone my skills. Key milestones. I became a huge person in terms of going to seminars, reading books. Just constantly developing myself. Really realizing that I'm the most important piece person in my life, that I have to develop me, and I
Right.
can't look for anyone else to do that.
Right.
So
Right.
that was some of the stuff that I learned.
Absolutely. So, um, let me ask you. I know the Ask the Counselor show is mainly geared on mental health, right? We talk about mental health on this show. We talk about the things in intertwined. We also talk about the things in the community. So Texas Roadhouse it's in the suburbs, but you have volunteered and gave to the community in so many occasions. Like when we had you did a giveaway, what did you say, book bag giveaway, right?
Working
And
on that, right? And
right,
we've done, we've donated food to
right,
the community. I did
right,
with Bellamy Enterprises. We work with him and Dr. Daniels.
right,
I've done a lot of stuff
right,
back to the community, and want
right,
to do more.
right.
So
And that's so important because when we see individuals struggling and when they've made it, you want to give back,
right,
right?
sure,
You want to help somebody else make it. You want to help a young person who has their eye on trying to get a business, trying to do a business, right? I get people all the time that is, I'm a counselor, licensed counselor, have 2 decades in the field,
sure.
more than 2 decades in the field. And so I like teaching,
Hmm.
and partnering with young people and say, hey, you can do this. Hey, what do you need help with? What are you struggling with? The people that's in the area that I'm in.
Right, right.
So I thank you for that as
Yes.
far as, giving back to the community, helping young people, modeling, what you need to model for our community and for our people
Sure.
out there. For not for just our people, but for everybody.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
It's for everybody.
I
So,
agree.
that if you want it, how much do you want it?
Right.
What are you going to do to get it?
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then I always tell people, find a mentor. Find a mentor, find somebody who has been there, done that, and who has, paving the way so that you can do similar or, go on
Hmm.
in that way too. So, um, in regards to motivation, right, or your purpose, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. My purpose is that when to understand purpose is so super important, because we are all put on this earth for a reason, and I think that it is our job, our duty to really find that purpose. And I just paid attention, and I don't know what made me do it, but I just started paying attention to the things that I was naturally drawn to. And uh, working in a restaurant, while many may not think that that's a good purpose, but it is, because now I get to use my platform, which is being an owner operator, to do
Right,
a lot of stuff that I really want to do, like work within the community, help people to see a better way for themselves.
right,
I have a lot. We have, believe it or not, in that particular restaurant, we have over 140 employees. It takes a
right,
lot of takes a lot of people to power that, and I'm able to touch so many lives
right,
in doing so. And I take a lot of honor in doing that, because I mean, in this world, you never know where you're going to land.
Right.
So we want to be as kind to people. I want to give back as much as I possibly can, and I realize that if I don't do my part, then as far as I'm concerned, me, Frank, I've done myself a huge disservice. So I love to give back.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I add to that is, for those out there who are looking and trying to understand what purpose is, please just absolutely just pay attention to what you are naturally drawn to. And the other thing is that, there is something that we can all do better than somebody else. And for us, and whatever that might be, whether speaking, I don't know what it could be anything, but whatever that platform is, you can do it while others may struggle. And to me, that's an excellent way to start understanding what your purpose really is.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to the Ask the Counselor show with my special guest, Frank Collins.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
I'm Belinda, and this is Willard, and we were adopted in 2021. When we first met Todd, he was singing a song, and I was like, wow, look at this kid with the biggest smile, and he has a big heart to match.
The energy you give Todd, you get it back from Todd.
Yeah.
Todd's a joy.
Yes, he
Todd
is.
really is a great joy.
I love him. You and you.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Elmo's daddy taught him that when he has a big feeling like being frustrated, humming a song can help you feel better. Love your mind.
Hi, welcome back to the Ask the Counselor show. I'm Vondolyn Salter Lane, Counselormsvee on Facebook, and this is my good friend Frank Collins. And we were just talking about purpose. We ended with purpose before we went to our break. And Frank, can you tell us about how you show kindness?
Yeah, that's a very good one. We do that every day. I always encourage my employees to, when guests come into the building, it is our responsibility to make people feel welcome, special, and appreciated. Because at the end of the day, everybody's going through something, no question about it. And we don't know what's on a person's mind. But it's our job to make sure that we're doing our part. Sometimes when people come, they've had a horrible day, horrible week, whatever the case, they've got off a tough phone call, whatever the case might be. It's our job to make them feel, again, welcome, special, and appreciated. So as I'm saying that, I'm thinking about a particular situation in which, and it's a very good story, and it may, for some, I know when I think about it, it still touches me. Mm-hmm. I had a lady come in on a Sunday, I'll never forget it. She ordered 2 entrees. They were our early dine entrees, 2 6-ounce sirloins to go. And the entrees come out. We had them packed up to go. Before she left, she decided that she wanted to take a look at them. So I wasn't there for that part, but she was at the bar dealing with one of my bartenders. And she was upset at the size of the steak. And it wasn't so much that we had gypped her out of anything. It was just a point that, it's a cut of beef. and muscles are different. So she wasn't happy with the size. She told the bartender. The bartender was, I won't use the, well, I guess animated about about the beef. And so she called me over, and I go over. I'm listening to the lady, and and I mean, here's the part that really got to me. She said, "Sir, look." She said, "I am in stage 4 cancer." And she said, "All I want to do is have dinner with my niece. And I just want to be able to have a nice dinner." And when I sat back and I thought about that for a second, I'm like, ma'am, not only are you going to keep that cut of beef, we're going to cook you another one just the way you want it, just to make sure you're good. And that, that small act of kindness to that lady meant the world to her. Because, again, like she had already stated, she just wanted to have dinner with her niece.
Right.
And who knows, was that the last time?
Right.
I hope that certainly that she's fine and she pulled through. But, again, we don't know, because looking at her, she looked like the picture of perfect health. She didn't look like what she was going through.
Right.
So, mentally, we don't know what people are.
Right.
So it's our job, again, to try to make people feel welcome, special, and appreciated. And that's what I really strive to do within the 4 walls of the Texas Roadhouse. And even when I'm not working,
right.
I am on my best behavior, because at the end of the day, people may recognize me, and I don't want to, and I do not want to ruin the name of the Texas Roadhouse.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I take that very serious, and that was a very, I always think, anytime someone asks me that question, that's one of the stories that comes up.
Yeah. Well, that's good, and thank you. Thank
Sure.
you for, sharing that, and thank you for your big heart, because that was really nice what you did for that woman. Tell me about your current focus.
Well, my current focus is one that is still community-based. I am still currently working, me and my staff are working very hard to stay grassrooted within the community. And that would include all of Buffalo.
Right.
That would include all of Cheektowaga, Lancaster, Depew. We strive, even West Seneca.
Right.
We work really hard. We're trying to work very hard to be just to keep the name strong. I tell people, we are food rich but dollar poor, because I am always willing to help the community with bread and salad and so forth. So my current vision is to become even more rooted in those communities to help.
Right. That's wonderful, because our communities definitely need the help. And they always say lead by example. And people, like you said, people don't know. Sometimes people do know who you are, and they're watching what you're doing. And by you leading and being a pillar in the community and a pillar in your establishment, that's very, very important. Because sometimes we don't even know that people are watching.
That's right.
Our young people are watching.
Absolutely.
They have visions of what they want to be.
Right.
And so, and that's how you ask, how does this intertwine with mental health? Well, I got a person here who's empowering you. Empowering is mental health, right? Saying that you can do this, saying that you don't have to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
That's right.
You came from rags to, riches, and you're here to give back and help the community moving forward. So that's what that's why I'm like, this is something that is intertwined with mental health, and it feels good to give back, right?
Yeah.
And it feels good to receive help.
Right. Exactly.
and let people know that, okay, this person is willing to help. They not over and above and think they, too good to, or all that.
Right. And, I just want to add too, to me, I'm an avid reader. I love self-development, and one of my mentors is Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, and the good doctor says that everything in life occurs twice, and that occurring twice, first the inner, the inside of you, and then the outer. So you have to have it on the inside in order for it to come to the outside. That's the first. The second is the thought, the mental, and then the thing. So so the thought creates the thing. It's not the other way around. So it's really important that we understand it. Again, that ties right back into mental health. If we can understand those two and link them up,
Right.
man, we're well on our way.
Absolutely. So, so we talked about the current focus. We talked about your vision. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to share with the TV audience. So, Mr. Collins is going to have his own community TV show. Right. So we have not. He has not come up with a name quite yet, but he will be talking about his journey and having guests on periodically, and teaching and mentoring people throughout the TV world. Right?
That's right.
So I just want to again thank you for coming on. Thank you for doing the things that you've done, and thank you for being a pillar in the community and for sharing your vision and helping, not just sharing it, you're helping people. You're hands-on, you're boots on the ground, right? So I just want to thank you for that. So
You're welcome, ma'am.
we're going to be watching for Mr. Collins' TV show, and hopefully I could be a guest on your show.
All right.
And and we'll go, and we'll move forward from there. But again, I want to thank Mr. Collins, who is the owner and proprietor of Texas Roadhouse on Union Road, and hopefully he can be. I'm having a career fair. Hopefully he can be there. That's sometime in November. He was at I had a emergency mental health crisis training that he wanted to know if someone in his presence or someone was in need of crisis mental health assistance.
Right.
So he got trained, and he also got Narcan trained, because like you said, you have how many employees?
140.
140, or somebody may come into the Texas Roadhouse and have a mental health crisis, right?
That's right.
So you're in good hands now with Mr. Collins, because he has been certified and trained. So I thank him for, attending that training. And again, thank you for coming on to the Ask the Counselor show. So is there any email that you want to give the people, just in case if they want to reach out to you?
Yeah, the best way to reach me is through my email, which is CLLNS_FRNK@yahoo.com. So that's Collins with no vowels _Frank without the A at Yahoo.
Okay, you got it, guys. So again, welcome and thank you for being on the Ask the Counselor show. And Mr. Collins is going to have his own community TV show. So you guys sit tight and stay tuned for that. And again, thank you for sharing everything that you shared today with us.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right, thank you for tuning in to Ask the Counselor show, and we'll see you next time.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick, on and off the field. We were taught to not show any signs of weakness. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. I thought that something was wrong with me. For 20 plus years was physical physical. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father, as a man, and as a husband. Put the importance on your mental health. I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. The first tool is therapy. The second one is positive self-talk. And then journaling, putting your thoughts on paper. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers, he connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.